Peter, in describing the process you've gone through, I'm sitting here thinking if I'm an investor wanting to get into the mid-market and I'm not an expert, let's say I'm a family in a family office in the UK or Dubai or Australia, and I'm really interested in the US mid-market. I'm sitting here going, I have a few options. I can try and partner with one of these partners on the ground, the sponsor, and go directly into the deal, some kind of fractional ownership space. Option number two is very much where we and yourselves are engaged in, where you're investing through a closed-ended fund structure where you're not taking that risk on a one-on-one basis in terms of assets. You're spreading your risk around 60 different assets. You have maybe, I'm not sure of your statistics, but probably 30, 40 different partners as well as diversifying your risk in terms of your lender base. And I guess your third option, if you're an offshore investor, might be just to invest in a REIT, a tradable REIT that gives you more liquidity, but has some serious limitations maybe in terms of how you can really benefit from the commercial model that happens in the mid-market with how you've just described it. Maybe you could just touch on, you've described the process in terms of how you find them and the deal itself. Where does the actual money get made on a mid-market deal? Is it my understanding, and so please correct me, my understanding is that most of the time it's, as you've said, you've bought an asset at great value, you've stabilized the income, and then really your opportunity to get compelling returns is on the exit. It's when you're selling and you're getting a great capital gain because of all the business plans that you put in place.
Well, I think there's a couple of things. I mean, one is if you pick a partner to invest with, if you're a foreign investor and you want to invest in the U.S., you pick a partner who specializes in one particular property type, you're going to get that property type regardless of where we are in the cycle for that type of asset. So, for example, that's kind of the foundation and endowment model in the U.S. where they pick specialty sharpshooters. And now the foundations and endowments are realizing that because they thought they were picking sharpshooters and they knew what to do, they realized that diversification, is a critical resource or critical tool to reduce risk, because that office specialist is now getting hammered because what's going on in office in the U.S. Same thing happened with hotels during the pandemic. Same thing happened with retail during the pandemic. And so the key, we think that the allocation approach that we bring, again, we don't have a bias. It's not like we have to put a certain amount into a specific asset class, or we have to put a specific amount into a certain geographic region. We're comparing opportunities, and we do have some disciplined biases as to what we think makes sense. So, for example, assets that require a lot of ongoing capital investment, we view are riskier investments. That's one of the reasons why we really like self-storage. In addition, it's not just buying existing assets. We also, about 20% of our investment activity in our fund series is development. So, for example, we've made a tremendous amount of money doing self-storage development in the US. That is a true micro market analysis. That self-storage facility, that's a $3 to $5 million equity investment. You're looking at the 1, 3, and 5 mile radius of that specific location. That, if you pick a partner who is in only a certain part of the country or whatever, you're going to get just that exposure, and you're not going to be able to compare and contrast different parts of the country and different 1, 3, and 5 mile radius opportunities. And so I think it's a breadth and depth issue. One is the breadth of the opportunities that you get exposed to as an investor. It's very difficult as a family office, even if, I don't care how much money you have, if you want to invest in the middle market because you do believe that it's a compelling investment opportunity, doing it on your own likely means that you have a few people who you're employing, either internally or externally. They, by definition, have to give money to fewer groups. We've got 120 different local operating partners right now that we're actively working with on opportunities. So that's breadth. The second is depth. And depth really comes from the fact that, we have roughly 70 people with, a lot of experience in the US real estate markets. And so we're really one person removed from any person in terms of reference checking, assessing underlying operating assumptions, what's going on in that specific market in terms of leasing. We also, because of the amount of activity that we generate, we're very, very important to the big brokerage firms. So whether it's Jones Lang LaSalle, CBRE, Cushman and Wakefield, Colliers, Berkadia, so on and so forth, we are an important relationship because we are an active repeat client in terms of buying deals, selling deals, and so on. And it's, those relationships give us better flow of information. In addition, we'll get back to this in a second, we're also a lender. And, we see 10,000 loan opportunities a year in our lending business. So the sheer quantity of data and information and insight that we bring to bear is unparalleled in the middle market. And so I would just say the biggest problem with real estate is that everybody owns a home. And so everybody has an opinion and everybody thinks of themselves as a real estate investor. But and also by the way, local real estate operators typically tend to be pretty good at sales and marketing, and that includes in raising capital and telling a story. And so I think we're very much, we're very direct. We've made mistakes. We've learned from our mistakes. We have a culture around lessons learned. And what I tell people is, when you invest with an investment manager, you're not investing because they've just made really good deals in the past. You're also investing with them because of the things they've done that they've done incorrectly or wrong, or what they've learned. There's no one who, the most dangerous person in the world is somebody who basically, first time they try something, they do it really, really well because they think that they're great at it. So that's the benefit of experience. And we're very transparent about our biases, our mistakes, our lessons learned, and why we won't repeat them.